Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. This is Todd with our daily video. Hope you're having a great day today and market's treating you well. Continue to see the volatility in the markets that we've seen over the last while. The overall feeling in the market right now is, still surrounding Europe and what's going on. We're talking a lot about the economy here in the U.S. Talking a lot about the deficit is starting to come into play. China, we're hearing a lot about China. So there's a lot of underlying financial things that are happening that are causing the market to move the way that it is. And so we need to keep that in mind as we look for opportunities to trade the simple trading method. We need to recognize the fact that we might have a little more volatility in the market than what we normally would expect to see. And anytime we deal with increased volatility or choppiness or uncertainty in the market, we have to do some things to protect ourselves. And one of the things that we can do is simply wait until that settles down. That takes a fair amount of patience because we're waiting for the market to settle down, and we don't know how long that can take. The other thing that most people would consider more appropriate would be to simply lower the amount that we're risking in each trade that we're taking. And so consider doing that. Make sure that you're sitting at the proper risk level for how you are and what your comfort level is. And of course, that will tell you how many, what the size of your positions are going to ultimately be. Now, today in the U.S., we have quite a few things that are coming out or have come out. We've had the personal spending income numbers, Chicago PMI, consumer sentiment, consumer inflation expectations from the University of Michigan. Not any huge numbers that are expected here or that potentially are going to move the market substantially. Now, next week, just kind of looking ahead, we have starting off the week, we have Labor Day holiday in Australia that we need to recognize. In China, National Day, so that'll be a holiday. The rest of the week, we actually have a lot of reports coming out, and I would suggest that you take that into consideration. And China, the holiday looks like through most of the week for that bank holiday. In Germany, there's also a German Unity Day, which is a holiday on Wednesday. So a lot of potential things happening. The big deal happens the first Friday of every month, and that is non-farm payroll. It's going to be a huge one to watch because there's a lot of people going to be interested in what that number is, especially as we get closer to the election. Also, this week we have the interest rates for the pound and for the euro, along with their statements and press conferences. And that'll be something happening on Thursday. Japan is going to have its interest rates also that evening. And then FOMC meeting minutes are coming out on Thursday, which is different than the actual FOMC report. So keep that in mind. Australia's got their interest rates on Monday, our time. And Chairman Bernanke on Monday is going to be speaking. So a lot of things next week. It's going to be one of those high impact volatility weeks that we get every so often. I want to just chat for a minute here about the simple trading method. Now, remember, we're looking for things that are in an uptrend, and this is just an example, and this could be, any time frame, any instrument that we're looking at trading. But I've got the 40-period simple moving average, which indicates that it's moving up, and we're sitting just up above that right now, which would indicate to us that the market is in somewhat of a uptrend. Now, at this point, we're getting a pullback, and so we're needing to look at where we would enter into this trade. And right now, if we thought that this pulled back enough, we would be placing our entry at the highest high of the last three. So as we move forward here, you can see that depending on how close we put this would determine whether or not we actually entered into this. So the high was at 89.31. So just up above, just barely up above here, but potentially we could have gotten into this. And if we would have gotten into this, our stop loss would have been maybe somewhere underneath the most recent lows here, and you can see that we would have gotten stopped out on this. Now, that'll happen. One of the reasons why I bring it up is because it's okay. It's okay to get stopped out of a trade. We know that happens, and that's just part of what trading is all about. Now, the question that I would have with this is, was this a good time to get in? Was there enough support? And remember, when we pull back towards an area of support. And in this case, we would have to question, was there any support back here? It was still on its way back down to the moving average, and it hadn't quite gotten there yet. Now, as we start to look at this move here, we pulled back some more. Our entry on this next one would have been just above the high of the previous three. So 1, 2, 3. You can see that we had just barely gotten in here. Our stop at this point would have been somewhere down below our most recent low. And you can see that, we started to move up. Our target area, depending upon what we were doing, may have been all the way up here for our initial target. And as we go forward, guess what? We would have gotten close to stopped out. Not quite. We didn't quite get stopped out here. We're getting another potential entry right here. This one draw another. Our stop loss would be below our swing low here. At this point, we might have a profit target up here, and we would have gotten our profit target taken out at that point. Now, in this case, we may have adjusted this down here because on our second one here, we would have we have a new potential swing high here. Now you can see that it eventually ran up. Got another pullback. Here we would have actually had an entry in this area. Stop loss down below the most recent low. We'd have gotten stopped out here. Again, it's okay to get stopped out. We'd have had an entry right here. Moved up. We had some entries in here. So you can see that as we look at these opportunities for the simple trading method, sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't, and that's okay. The key is that the ones that work out, we're having a better, a more positive result than what we're getting on the ones that we lose. And so if we can identify the trend, identify when we move to support or resistance, and then look for some opportunities to enter into those trades, and we're going to be in the right position. So take some time to practice with that. Get ready for next week's news that's going to come out, and we'll see if we can find some things on Monday to start to look to trade. So until then, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.